What's up, fellas? We got a good guest in the building. A long time guy, long red pill guy, red pill before they even start calling this shit red pill. My guy JD Black. What's up, brother?
What's going on, Alpha? What's good with your shot to everybody that's tuning in?
Bro, been a big fan of you even before I started, man. Watching your content and stuff. You talking about those celebrities and
Oh,
stuff like that, man. What made you become a YouTuber? What made you say,
well,
man, I got to do this right here?
well, well, I was a viewer like
Mm,
most people,
mm-hmm.
and there was I would watch content, but I really did not want to uh, do it until I saw a few specific people. Um, I don't know, man. I miss this guy all the time. I cannot think of his name right now. It'll come to me.
Okay.
I got inspired to do it, and I said, you know what? Why not? I've always felt like I had ideas and thoughts that I want to share to the world. I said, why not try it? So I recorded. I actually started on SoundCloud. I recorded myself on SoundCloud.
Mm-hmm.
The clips are still there. I think my first video was the Ray Rice video,
Okay.
and it sort of went from there when I started talking about going my own way because I was really inspired by the MGTOW community,
Mm-hmm.
and I started making videos about going my own way. And I was in that red pill rage, but
Right.
I would say after about a couple of months, I sort of got stable, balanced. You go through that, you sort of relearning
Mm-hmm.
about things in society,
Mm-hmm.
about women,
Mm-hmm.
that it changes you, and it really changed me, and it motivated me to make content. Yeah, same Madman 103.
Okay.
You know, he was the guy that really was like, I can do video because I really liked his content because he was so real.
Mm-hmm.
And as a content creator, 'cause other guys you could tell that they scripted their content, but
Mm-hmm.
listen, the same Madman 103 is what really motivated me to become a content creator. And I've always given him credit for being the one to make me believe I can make videos.
Mm. What pushed you to become red pill? What led you that direction?
I would say watching MGTOW content, watching red pill content, whether it be about women, whether it be about politics, whether it be about society as a whole. In my experiences in life, and when you go and you listen to other people and their belief system, and you say to yourself, "Wow, I dealt with those things and I was confused." I would think I was in the purple pill lane like deep before I even learn anything about the red pill or MGTOW,
Mm-hmm.
because there were things about society that I was like, okay, but then I was sort of still fall into those same trappings of society as a young man, and me being at the time in my early to mid 20s, I said, you know what, it's time for a change, and just learning, soaking in all that is like I got to make this change, man, because I can't keep following these same trappings and sort of believe the same thing. I was a bit naive about certain things. I would say that, and then when you sort of learn the other side,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, oh, okay, yeah.
So you say you went through a red pill, you were purple pill, then went to a red pill. Have
Oh
you
yeah,
went have you went back to the dark side? Have you went back purple
nah,
pill?
nah. I would expect that. There are times where you sort of feel like you might regress, but I never do. It's almost like I catch myself from slipping. It's almost
Mm.
like when you have a certain addiction, and you sort of almost kind of fall, but you're like, no, no, no. So you sort of pick yourself back up quickly. Like, no, 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 you don't want to go back there, because there's nothing there. You're gonna be mad at the world. You're gonna be mad about this and that, or you can just continue to make changes. I think making content has actually helped me get away from that, and not be caught up in that, because it's like I make videos now and I have the audience of people that listen to me, and I can't be angry. I can't be bitter. Because what are they? They're gonna listen to that and they're gonna internalize it, and that's not something I want to be able to do. You know.
Do you think like so this is the thing, right? Most people listen to me and they think that I'm mostly red pill because, I have resentment towards women or I don't trust women. In actuality, I'm just a slut, right? I just be honest, I'm promiscuous. I'm just
All
a
right.
slut. So, like, do
Uh,
you miss the intimacy part of being connected with a woman outside of sex? Like, connecting on a higher level, or is it just not really worth it to you?
No, you still connect with women the same way, but it's different because
Mhm.
you see the world different and
Right.
you see women differently. And you don't push yourself because a lot of times, you know how, because I know back in the day, man, I would emotionally, I would be like, yeah, I want relationships with women, but that's just because I want to sleep with them.
Right.
So, but now you're not as quick to do that, because you're like, man, what are the ramifications of me doing this? You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
So you're not as quick to be deceitful. You're not as quick to fall for the whole let's be friends. You know how women would waste your time,
Right.
right? I fell into that too.
Right.
Trying to be the friend, and but now you sort of take your time and you deal with women that want to deal with you, but you're more picky. You have to be because you don't want to waste your time, and you want to find yourself with somebody that's just gonna, you know, not be a good. It's not gonna be a good situation for you.
Right. Got you. So now you make a lot of celebrity content talking about the celebrities, man. And every time I want to hear about a celebrity getting raped in divorce court or whatever, I just know I can turn on JD Black channel and I'm gonna hear about some guy paying $50,000 a month in alimony and this, that, and other. And I want to hear your theory as to why guys like this after it keeps happening over and over. I heard Nicolas Cage just got married again for the fifth time. Why do you theorize that guys continue to marry?
Yeah.
And they see this stuff keeps happening. Why not just date the women?
Well, I think it has a lot to do with a lot of these guys' families. A lot of these guys come from two-parent households,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that they want that. And I
Mm-hmm.
think in Hollywood, man, I think those guys get married because they want to avoid certain things. Because in Hollywood, man, it's so weird. I think they get married to protect themselves, especially the men, because a lot of times they'll have all types of people coming at them, and I think they're married to protect us also because again their family structure, they come from a two-parent household,
Mm-hmm.
and because of that, they're so used to that, and I just think their mentality is just completely flawed. But their ego tells them differently because I think career too, they get more opportunities as a married man, either endorsements or movie roles. I think the studios are more comfortable giving those guys opportunities because they have a family, they have a wife, and I think it's all image. Like look at Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith. It's
Mm-hmm.
all image.
Mm-hmm.
He's the dad. He is the husband, and they're comfortable with him.
Right.
So I think a lot of those guys see that and they want to mirror that. Not understanding that those women are going to come after you financially, but it's their egos that's not, they don't want to learn any differently. Because if you were to tell those guys about the red pill and make time, they look at you like you crazy. Like what?
Right.
You're
Right.
a woman basher. What are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Man. And like another thing I keep seeing that comes up on your channel also, brother, is the women expose the side chicks, expose the the guys that they dating after things go bad. Why do you think so? Like me, as being AMS, when I meet women, I don't tell them what I do because I know if things go bad, they ask to be on YouTube or doing something. I'm exposing them. I'm exposing them. So and some of these guys, I get it. Some of the real famous guys like LeBron or Drake, everybody know who they is. But you just made a video about this guy Haskins, and I'm like, if I'm this dude, these women would not know who he is, right? And so why do he feel a need to let these women know that he played football? Come up with a fucking alias. I'm D Haskins or D Williams, whatever the fuck you want to, because when things go bad, they're going to be right on the blogs trying to expose you. So why do you think these guys, are they trying to use their celebrity to get clout with these women? Why they can't just, what do you think?
They have to. That's the only way they can get these women. If they were just a regular guy, a lot of these women would look in their direction. So they have to use that. That's why he got Dwayne Haskins asking his woman for $20,000 back. Like what? Like come on, man. You're not getting that back. And also the woman that he's with now, she's with him because of who he is. And I just think a lot of these guys don't know how to deal with women one-on-one without using their fame. If it wasn't for their fame, they would not know how to deal with these women. It's unfortunate. And I think it's a sign of the times. And you talked about the exposing culture. That's just a sign of the times, man. Everybody lives through social media now. And And whenever they can get a leg up on you as a man, see, men never really expose women. You
Mm-hmm.
notice that, right?
No.
It's the women. It's the women
Right.
that do it.
Right. That's
And they're
feminine
so,
behavior. Yeah.
yeah, and they're so used to doing it that it's nothing now. And I think that's just where we are. That's why I tell them, listen, you need to avoid dealing with women who is with you for what you have, uh, and not have a whole bunch of side chicks, giving women money that you don't. First of all, you may not have the money to give them,
Mm-hmm.
because this guy Dwayne Haskins on a new team.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it's a sign of the times. I think that women gain a lot from doing this, and they know that. And I think that unfortunately these guys get caught up in it because they don't have the right male influence around them. Like, even
Mm-hmm.
though Dwayne hasn't come from a two-parent household, but he probably was spoiled rotten.
Right.
You know?
So, don't you think that the money would be enough? Like, okay, I'm quite sure
Yeah.
the Haskin guy, I'm quite sure he has a nice crib, he
Yeah.
dresses nice, he has a nice car. Do you have to use, if you got all that, do you still have to use your celebrity status or your football status instead of just saying, hey, I'm a high value man? Shouldn't that be enough?
They could be, but these guys want a certain type of woman.
Ah, I got you.
Yeah, because there are women that probably would date these guys if they weren't famous.
I got
But
you.
they want a certain type of girl, and they got to say, man, I have to use my fame in order to get her, because she's not gonna go for me just for me being me.
Right.
But I have to go and show her I'm an NFL player and I play football. And it's like, okay, well, you setting yourself up to be with a gold digger who is gonna expose you, who's gonna be disrespectful towards you, like with him, punching him in the face. That's the type of woman you're going to attract. I would rather attract a woman that likes me for me. And you can do that if you're an athlete. There's a lot of athletes that never go through drama.
Right.
Because they're not with those women who are going to bring them that type of energy. But these guys want to chase women that don't care about them personally. They just care about what they can do for them.
Now, if you're a guy like me personally, like I just want sex. So me personally, I don't care if I don't care if a woman wants to sleep with me because I got a nice car or I got a nice watch or whatever. Listen, I just want you because you got a fat ass, right? So do you think it's wrong for a guy saying, you know what, she only want to fuck with me because of what I got, but guess what? I only want to fuck with her because of what she got.
Yeah. A lot of that goes on. A lot of that's been going on for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I just think women try to leverage whatever they have in order to get back what for men, either it's attention, whether it's followers. But yeah, there's a lot of men who I think do that a lot. They go after women for sex. A lot of these athletes go after these women for sex. And I just think women now are trying to leverage that the best way that they can. And they do that by setting these guys up, getting screenshots and stuff. And just having receipts in case it goes bad.
Yep.
Personally, I think when these women don't get anything from sleeping with men, they just use his fame against them.
Where do you think that mindset come from? So, like, even though I said, I don't care if a woman sleeps with me about, what I got or whatever, if I'm just looking for sex. But these guys will try to use their money to wife a woman up. What comes from that mindset? What you think causes that mindset of a man using his success and wants to be in a relationship with a woman that's with him for his financial? It's one thing if it's just a pure sexual thing. It's another thing if you want to take it to more and using your. What makes a guy get in that mindset or even want a girl like that?
Well, I just think looks, how she looks, I think play a part into it. Like, you go on Instagram now, you got a girl with 30,000 followers. She thinks she's a celebrity, and she probably out here curving athletes. But that's just based off of she feels physically like she can compete with these other women, even though she doesn't have that big of a following. No one really knows her, but she still feels the need that there's a certain type of guy that she wants. I just think women are so entitled. They feel like they have this attitude, and a lot of men play into it, unfortunately. A lot of these guys play into it. They go after these women just based off looks alone, and these women are able to use that to their benefit. And a lot of these guys gotta understand there's millions of women out here. You don't have to go chase it behind this woman because you've seen her with this guy. A lot of these guys don't have social skills. I think that's a problem. A lot of these males, they don't have social skills, so they all go after the same women, not understanding that these women are only going to like you for what you have, and if they don't get enough from that, they're just giving you sex. They're going to want something. And it may not happen that day, but someday it will. If you get caught up in a situation like Dwayne Haskins, they're going to use that. They're going to drop the receipts then. That could have been a situation he dealt with last year. He thought was over with. You know what I'm saying? Clean break. And
Mm.
then all of a sudden now, she's putting this out here. And I just think women are so obsessed with trying to get something from somebody. They think that with their looks, that there's always going to be men around the block want them. Not understanding that that's just not how it is because there's such an abundance of women.
Right.
And I think men should understand that too. There's so many women out here. You don't have to go after these women. The women you see online, you can see in real life. Just less fakeness. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But yeah.
I'll give you what I think about it, and then you tell me what you think about this. I think
Okay.
a lot of it comes from society has told men that we're only valuable to women at what we can do for them. I think a
Right.
lot of society, I think that has been honed. We watch it on TV, we watch it on
Uh-huh.
movies, that a
Yeah.
lot of men have been brainwashed that your value to a woman is what can you pay bills? Can you buy her something? And I
Mm-hmm.
think that a lot of, when you get money, it's just
Yeah.
exponential. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, it has. And we grew up with a lot of us grew up in if we grew up in single parent households, it's like you gotta take care of mama. You gotta take care of the women around you. You know what I'm saying? You want that type of woman, you're gonna have to spoil her. You know how many times when people have told us that we need to spoil the women that
Right.
we with.
Right. Exactly.
Buy her stuff. It's like a lot of guys take that to heart. So whenever they become successful, they feel like it's up to them to take care of that woman when that's not the case. Chad Johnson, he tweeted out something recently about how men should not have to pay 100% of the bills, right? And that's driving so many people crazy. They're like, what? But that's the mentality I think men probably should have, because you should not have to take care of no woman like that if you don't have to.
Right.
You should not have to for her.
Yeah, I agree with that, bro. My thing on that is, my thing with that is this right here. If you a man and you make it like that, then fine. But if you're a guy, you making 30 grand a year, y'all both got to pull that wagon. The way my mindset. If I'm making, when I was making 30 grand a year or whatever, me and my girl both we both buckled down and got things done. Obviously, now I don't need a woman. If I was to have a girlfriend, now I would be like, hey, you're gonna pay that light bill this month or whatever. So I just think it's where you at financially or whatever.
Yeah,
But
I agree with that because if you're making 30,000, you're gonna have to make it work together.
Right.
It's gonna have to be a team effort.
Right.
And a lot of times I think, but that's crazy because there's a lot of women that date men that don't really make any money.
Right.
And they're comfortable dating those guys. So I think a lot of women just they try to push they try to I'm gonna say push or pull the goalpost. Try to push
move the goalpost.
Move the goalpost. I don't know why I'm thinking of push.
Right.
Move the goalpost. A lot of women do that when you catch them. Like when you catch them, you got their back against the wall on certain things, and they want to talk about how they want a high earning. No, they will date any guy that they're attracted to. He ain't got to make that much money. They'll take care of him.
Right.
And that happens a lot more than people think.
Now, we got all these apps, brother. You got Hinge, you got Bumble, you got Tinder, you got all these apps. Now, I might be wrong. We'll get your opinion on this. But why do it seem like we're more disconnected from women than ever? It seemed to me like it was easier to get women back in the day, say 20 years ago, opposed to you would think it would be easier now with these apps. Why you think it seems like it's harder to get connected with women now?
Oh man, I think honestly, I think when Facebook and then Instagram right after that took off, I think that was a wrap. Once women got to see the attention they can get from not even being around men, that changed everything. And that attitude it flowed everywhere throughout all the dating apps. Now these women have these egos and this attitude. They think they can get any man they want. And that's just not the case. A lot of those women don't.
Right.
And I just think that changed so much women to the point to where it's difficult dealing with women these days, on and offline. Women, all these, their attitudes are just so different. Their egos are so different. All of them think they can get any man, and that's just, they don't understand that's not reality.
Right.
Just because a lot of men like your pictures doesn't mean that reality. I think platforms like that has destroyed the mentality of women to delusional proportions.
We find everybody who watch Kevin Samuels every night. We see that firsthand.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man. I can say at least 99.9% of those women are completely delusional.
Oh my God. 45 years old, 4 kids, making
Yeah.
15 grand a year to my son. I want to make a man who make $500,000 a year.
Yeah.
I said Kevin will never run out of work. He'll never run out of
Right.
work.
He isn't. Man, he has a long way to go. I think he's always gonna have material. He's always gonna have material, man.
Jesus Christ. So now I saw you talk about this. I think it was you. I don't know. James Harden. James Harden paying $100,000 for a date with one of those girls, like a city girls. I think who it was. I can't remember. But
It was Sweetie. Yeah, they were saying he paid to go on a date with Sweetie. Yeah,
and I think it's apps now, right, where you can pay for dates, right? Pay dates, right, where you pay the women to go on dates. Do you think that that's where we're headed, paying for dates?
man. Honestly, it could be the way women have gotten worse
Mm-hmm.
in their standards.
Mm-hmm.
Would it really surprise you? I mean, you got men that sign up to OnlyFans every day.
Mm-hmm.
You got men that they'll send cash outs, they'll send whatever to women without even meeting that woman.
Mm.
And it's easy for women, especially the more attractive she is, to get money out of men. So it wouldn't surprise me. As desperate as these guys are to meet these women and date them, they could set up something to where these guys have to pay them a certain amount to go on a date with them. They could ask for 50, 100,000. There are men who probably will pay that and not get nothing in return.
Now let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, because this always has been around. Like we see the OnlyFans,
Yeah.
but Playboy and Hustler and porn been around for years and stuff like that. We just see it now with the OnlyFans. It's in our face. So do you think that just showed us how much simping has been going on for years? I mean, what the Playboy Mansion, that wasn't cheap. He ain't buy that selling tires. He buy that selling pictures of ass, right?
Yeah.
So do you think this thirst has always been going on and we just seeing it now with the OnlyFans thirst?
Yeah. I think it has, but it was isolated. It
Right.
wasn't mainstream. No one really knew how thirsty men were until the internet and some of these sites started to take off and these apps started to take off. It was very isolated. No one really knew how thirsty. There was an audience for it, yeah, but it was sort of like a covert audience. Like who's really buying all these Playboy magazines? Like,
Right.
And it was a dirty little secret, for these guys to have stacks of Playboy magazines somewhere. But now it's mainstream for women to be out here, doing these what do you call these challenges?
Right.
I did a couple of Patreon videos on it. The lawnmower challenge, the busted challenge. It's just so mainstream now, and women do that because they know there's a lot of men that's gonna like that.
What do you think we got to do to get the power back? Right. I mean, it's to a situation to where like even the high value men don't even got the power no more. So what do you think we got to do as men? Do we got to band together like the Band of Brothers or something and boycott pussy? I mean, what do you think we got to do?
I think honestly, I think it goes back to when Instagram was talking about taking those likes away. We saw those women melting down. I think that if there was signs that men were losing interest in all of that, they weren't going to the OnlyFans, they weren't liking the pictures or even commenting, women putting up posts, but they're barely getting any fraction of the traffic that they normally used to get, then you would start to see the panic start. And it would show that men do have power and say so. And women don't, because that's the truth. Men, we push everything to be popular. We push everything for women. Like you got women that claim they get BBLs because men like that. Like that,
Right.
That's just shows you the power of what we like and what women react to. Like what woman like comic book movies 10 years ago? Like, come on.
Right.
Whatever men are into and like, women are gonna try to emulate that in order to get something from it. If we show disinterest and some of these platforms start to decline where the interest ain't there, those women notice that, especially for men. I think they will see that men are the ones who are the reason why these women feel like they can do what they do. But you still got a strong segment of males that refuse to actually see what's going on and make the necessary changes because they don't think anything's wrong with women. We're fighting an uphill battle because we are in the minority, you and I.
Right. I will agree with that, brother. Do you think men are the cause of women feeling so entitled, or do you think it's squarely on the backs of the social media and stuff like that?
I think it's a combination of things. You have the mainstream media they run interference, they defend,
Mm-hmm.
and then you got these other celebrities who will run interference and defend,
Mm-hmm.
and then you got some of these males
Mm-hmm.
who will defend these women and women. So they have a strong group of people who will defend them. So that builds that delusion once again that nothing is wrong with them.
Mm-hmm.
I think that delusional wall needs to be broken down.
Mm.
And because they have so many people running interference for them,
Mm-hmm.
they feel like nothing that they do is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
When yes, something is wrong with you. You don't have a man. You have a bunch of kids out of wedlock.
Mm-hmm.
You're not at your physical best. Something is wrong here. There's a reason why you've been single for about 2, 3, 4 years, right?
Right.
Pretending like you've been celibate,
Right.
because you have not made the necessary changes to attract the man that you want. That's why you always deal with broke men. They complain about broke men. That's all you date.
Right.
You could do better, but you're stuck in that mindset of, as long as he looks a certain way, it has a certain height, I'll deal with him. You got all these baby mamas. You overlook that too, until he leaves you, and now you're mad. Well, what did you think was going to happen? He has no investment in the relationship. You taking care of him. A lot of these women have this mentality, this high school mentality. They like to date guys, same type of guys they did in high school. No responsibility, nothing. And because so many people, again, protect their image, which has been diminished beyond repair, they tend to believe that nothing that they do is wrong. Like, look how they coming at Kevin Samuels or some of these other people. Women will probably come at you,
right?
Like, strongly,
right?
Like, I hate this guy,
right?
You know,
right?
And that's because they're not used to men being the opposite of what they believe. They're not used to that. They're not used to men telling other men, you don't have to be a simp. Right. You don't have to, chase after her. You don't have to throw all this attention on her that she has not earned.
Right. So, I see you all the time. You made it's been a while, but I remember you made a video about Halle Berry paying child support. And so, and one thing you see about women, I was just on a date with a woman maybe 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, and so I wasn't interested in her. So when I'm not interested in a woman on a date, right? I don't care what come out my mouth, right? I get
right.
So I brung up, why I'm not getting married, because I already made up my mind. I'm like, I don't want to date this masculine ass bitch, right? And so,
right.
So I'm on the date telling her about why a man shouldn't get married and shit. And by no means am I telling the guy to get on the date and talk about this shit. Understand that I had already disqualified the bitch, so I didn't mind debating her on it.
Yeah, don't care no more.
Yeah, I don't care no more. So, and then she was like, I was telling her about Dr. Dre's situation, and she was like, well, wasn't that woman? And I was like, man, Dr. Dre married that woman in like 1995 or something when he was already rich, right? And then I brought up the Halle Berry situation, and I said, Halle Berry and what's the singer name? Mary J. Blige, right?
Yeah.
And no, she was upset on them lazy bums. So why are women so in a double standard when if something benefits them, they okay with it, but when it's for the man, it's a problem? Why do you think they so petty like that, bro?
That's because they put themselves in those women's shoes. Like, they would never want to pay spouse support or child support. So they're going to defend those women because they're like, I would never do that. So therefore, I'm going to take off her because I don't think she should do that. And that's just the sisterhood, quote unquote, defending each other. They will defend each other. They'll take up for each other, even if they're in the wrong, even if there's a clear, double standard, because they don't want to be in that situation. They don't want no man to put them in that situation. Even though they're quick to tell you that they're not like other women when we talk about the topics that we talk about, right? They'll say, well, I'm not like those other women, but you like those other women when you defend Halle Berry, you defend Mary J. Blige not paying spouse support or even child support, because they view themselves the same way as those women. They wouldn't want to be they wouldn't have to be put in that position to have to pay a man to go away. Like, men have been paying women to go away for years.
What they call it? Vagina money?
Yeah.
Vagina money, whatever.
Yeah. And because of that, they see themselves as those women, and they don't want to be in that situation. So they will defend women not having to be in that situation. But those will be the same women that claim they're not like other women. But you are, because you're defending them. Right. You should believe in equality. Right. But obviously you don't,
Only when it benefits them.
Yeah, only when it benefits them.
So nothing puts a man in red pill rage like paying alimony or child support or not being able to see their kids. What do you recommend for the guys that's watching this right now that are going through that red pill rage? How can they overcome that? Because it's not beneficial, right?
Right.
It's good to find the red pill so you understand female nature, but it's not productive to stay in it. So,
Right.
what do you recommend for guys that are going through that right now? They kind of hate women, they despise them. What do
Yeah.
you? How you recommend guys get past that stage, brother?
Well, I would recommend that they actually take the time to put themselves first and think about what's important.
Mm-hmm.
Your happiness should be important. Your goals, like what do you want to do?
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of these guys need to leave their city if
Mm-hmm.
they feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm guaranteed right now, if you're not getting play from women in your city, you go somewhere else, you're gonna get a lot of play.
Mm-hmm.
You just might be too much in your comfort zone to make those changes. Just like I say, women need to make certain changes. Men do too.
Right.
I think being mad or in a rage doesn't help you long term.
At all.
It only deteriorates you, and it causes you to not be able to progress in life. You can't be successful if you dislike somebody else. You're only going to hurt yourself in the long run. It's better to really just find happiness, because life is too short
Right.
to just be mad all the time.
Right.
It is,
Right.
because you'll be here today and gone tomorrow. So
Right.
you got to prioritize certain things that's going to bring you happiness and joy. A lot of these guys, once again, they ain't never left their city, probably never left their neighborhood,
Mm-hmm.
and they need to understand it's a big world out here. What's the point of being angry and mad all the time? There's so much to do. There's so much to go out there and experience.
Mm-hmm.
Women are only a portion of your life. Where's the wealth? You should be building wealth.
Mm-hmm.
You should be able to travel, and you should be able to enjoy what's out here, instead of being concerned about what women say, what women do.
Mm-hmm. What do you say to the guys right now? And I've been in this position. I'm quite sure you probably have in your past life too. What do you say to the guys right now who are watching this, man? Their life is like in a dead end. They make 20 grand a year. They don't see their life getting better. You got that 27-year-old guy right now who's just like, my life sucks. I don't make no money. I'm not where I want to be. I don't see how I'm gonna get there. And they're just discouraged, from just trying to better themselves. What do you say to that guy?
Well, I would tell him, save as much money as you can,
Mm-hmm.
and try to work on investing, or maybe starting a business.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the future is online.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell guys all the time, you might want to find something online that could further whatever it is you want to do, because that is the future. You don't have to be stuck at your dead-end job. If you feel like it's dead end, there's always options. You got to take a risk. I took a risk years ago by focusing on YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
but it was beneficial because I was the type of person that I'm going to be successful. Fuck it. There is no going back.
Right.
So you got to have that mentality. I know it's tough, but you have to be strategic and figure out where I want to go, the steps that I want to take. There's nothing wrong with planning. Men don't plan anymore. We need to plan and figure out our life, 5 years from now, where we want to be. Do we want to be in the same situation we are now? Or we want to be in a different one. There's nothing wrong with trying things and taking risks. Life is all about risks, man.
Exactly.
They may work out, they may not, but I'd rather do it and not have no regrets.
Right.
Right.
So we're gonna end it on this, bro. Let me ask you this: for all the guys out there, what do you invest in? What do you do? Real estate, stocks, crypto? Y'all guys know how I feel about crypto. I ain't gonna don't get me started on crypto.
How you feel about crypto, real quick?
I just feel like it's a fad or whatever. I feel like, man, I feel like this. I feel like if you're gonna throw some money over there and just say, hey, it's high risk, it's 50-50, then go for it. I think if you're going to bank your retirement or your long-term goal, like you think you're going to be 7 years old living off of your crypto interest, I think that's bugging. I think it should be like a high-risk thing. Maybe you invest $100 a month, and if it does good, then fine. But as far as somebody that like your major investment platform thing that you plan to retire when you old and kick back and live off of, I think it's crazy.
All right. Okay. Well, I've invested pretty much some of everything. I got my money in some of everything. I do invest TD Ameritrade.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I have put some in crypto increments, just because again I like to put my hands on some everything.
Right. Right.
I've been lucky to purchase my first place right now, so I'm into real estate now, and
Okay.
I love it, to be honest with you.
Okay.
And I would love to have more real estate.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I'm all about owning. I'm like, fuck working for people, renting
Mm-hmm.
from people. Forget that.
Mm-hmm.
Them days is over.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I got my hands some of everything. I do enjoy stocks. I enjoy the returns.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm heavy. I'm heavy in the stocks. I start off slow, but I've sort of put more and more into it. So yeah, that's where I'm at right now with it. I'm a big fan of investing and owning. So if you can invest, you can own. That's the best thing you can do. The housing market last year was great.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying, for buying. It kind of went up this year,
Right.
but yeah, I'm all about doing stocks and being able to buy land or being able to buy homes or whatnot. I'm all for that.
You buy individual stocks?
Yeah, I'm right now, man. The best one, honestly,
Mm-hmm.
has been Apple recently.
Okay.
Apple has been
You
really
ain't
good.
jump on the AMC bandwagon?
Oh, I did. Yeah, I did. I put a little something in the AMC.
I know. Then Tesla. Me myself, I just buy index funds. I hate buying individual stocks or whatever. I think that's it. I think if you're gonna do individual stocks, I think that's just as risky as crypto.
It is.
So I think if you're gonna do those individual stocks, I think they got to be like a high risk, high reward thing. But I wouldn't bank my retirement off of individual stocks just like I wouldn't crypto. I want to stay in something that's proven, and that's the U.S. stock market as a whole,
Right.
like the index fund.
Yeah, you definitely take it slow.
Right.
Not rushing into it. Just making sure you you understand it fully before you go all in. But it's definitely an option. I mean, you can go any door, but go into a door. Make sure you have your hand in some of everything, and you're not feeling like you're not finding other avenues to make money. But long term, to me, stocks are long term. Not short term. Like if I'm not making a lot now, then that's fine. But long term, it'll probably be to my benefit.
And I ended on this, bro. How do you think a man should date in 2021? Do you believe a pump and dump? That's a MGTOW thing. Do you believe stay away from women completely? Do you believe? I know you don't believe in relationships. Do you believe in like rotations? What do you recommend for guys as far as what would JD Black say is the optimal dating strategy for 2021?
Well, 2021. I mean, relationships are fine, but you need to be picky and make sure it's on your terms and that you're not, basically working for that woman and you're not under her thumb. You make sure if you're gonna be in a relationship, I would say make sure it's something that's to your benefit. You're not to the benefit of somebody else. You're not the utility for somebody else. So I would tell guys, you don't have to rush in a relationship. You can date. You can be single. I'm about spending most of the time to yourself. You don't have to be up under a woman. A lot of these guys feel like they have to be up under a woman. No, you don't.
Right.
You can use your time to do whatever you want to do, and when you want to deal with the woman, you deal with the woman. But it's on your terms. Because some women, they're so clingy, man.
Right.
They won't let you breathe. You know what I'm saying? So you got to find a woman that understands your situation, understands that you have things you have to do, and you don't necessarily have to be around them all the time. Like I'm not the biggest proponent of moving in with a woman. To be honest with you,
Right.
I think you should have your own place, and you're dating a woman, she should have her own. But I'm all about guys focusing on themselves for any type of relationship. You know what I'm saying? But a guy who likes women, he's still gonna go out there. He's gonna have casual relationships. I'm not against that at all. Because men are men.
Right.
If
right.
you like women, you're gonna still deal with women in a casual manner.
Right.
But I'm all about making sure that you use your time to your benefit. You're not cupcaking. You're not out here, trying to win women over with words. You know what I'm saying? You just,
Right.
she's a part of your life, not the main part. Unless you're trying to wife her up or something, that's a different story.
Right. And so for the guys out here that are like red pill or purple pill or whatever, but they get that lonely feel from time to time that every red pill, man, regardless if they, lying or not, whatever, I know it. How do, guys think they just gonna shit me like they gonna just tell me anything. Like I just go for anything, right? How do you recommend guys fight that lonely feel when they, you miss that relationship, that strong connection with a woman? How do guys get past that?
Honestly, I've never really missed being in a relationship. You
Mm.
know, I like my alone time.
Mm.
You know, being in a home by myself. I
Mm.
like being here by myself. I don't need to be around nobody like that.
Right.
Every once in a while, you may want to be around a lady, but it's not all the time. It's not every day. I know that.
Right.
You know,
Right. How
but
did you get to that point though? Or was you always like that?
no, I had to get to that point.
Right.
It took a little while, but I got comfortable just being to myself,
Well,
and it's good because I'm able to get things done.
that's
But
just what I was going to say.
yeah, you
You
get a
make
lot more
eight. You
done.
make 8 videos a day, so you ain't really got time to be up on a woman like that.
But not exactly 8 videos. Not like it used to be. I might make about close to that years ago. Slowed down, but
But
some guys it just ain't they if they get lonely it's because they want to be in a relationship. Like, and there's nothing wrong with that. Listen, if
right.
you want to be in a relationship, be in a relationship. Nothing
Mm-hmm.
wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
But don't get on social media and say something different. Like, you got some guys, they'll say, "Oh, I'm red pill, f these women. I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to deal with them." But behind the scenes, it's a different story. They
Right.
really want to be with a woman.
Right.
They
Right.
really want a relationship. Probably want marriage too.
Right.
So you got that going on.
If y'all missed what he's saying, he basically saying he got on his purpose, and so his purpose filled his void, so he didn't need women. If y'all
Right.
missed what if it went over your head. All right, JD Black, I appreciate you, man, coming through, man. Appreciate y'all guys. Make sure y'all go check out JD Black Station, man. I'll put it in the description. Appreciate you coming through,
Okay.
brother.
All right, man. Thanks for having me on, and shout out to you and everybody that's tuning in.
All
All
right,
right.
be good, brother.
All right, man.